What up?
What up?
So, we're chopping it up about today is authenticity over approval. Authenticity over approval. Why that matters is because we live.
What is authenticity?
Right.
What does authenticity mean to you? What's your definition of authenticity? First, figure that out. For me, authenticity is as simple as this. It's coming from an honest place. It's honesty. That's what it means. Some people call it real. Some people say it's another word to describe authenticity. Genuine.
Right.
What about personality traits in terms of a person who was authentic? What type of traits do you think they would display?
Straightforwardness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I look at someone who's authentic as someone who doesn't really beat around the bush and get straight to it.
Right.
And who doesn't really give a shit whether it's liked or not, or even care about being liked or not.
Right.
Their biggest concern is getting straight to the truth.
Yeah.
And sticking to that, which is what this whole conversation is about.
For sure.
Authenticity over approval. When I talk about the approval part of it, I'm saying we're living in a world right now that I feel like people are valuing more the approval part of it over the authenticity. They'd rather be liked and approved of as opposed to being just straight, tell the truth. Whether it's approved or not, whether it's liked or not, whether it's taken well or not. Just tell the truth, right? Because me personally, I respect truth more than I respect being liked, you know? And I see a lot of it online, you know, on social media, and just in the world in general, in the real world even.
Right.
In the real world in general, I see a lot of stuff about people are saying things and agreeing with things just because they'll be approved of or liked, as opposed to, well, here's the real truth and here's my real opinion on this. You know, here's the facts, as opposed to what's going to be accepted or what's going to be taken well or not. You know, they're letting that get in the way, you know. People I see online will talk about, and in general in real world, I see it all the time, conversations about things like, what's your actual opinion on it? And their opinion isn't really honest because they'll say whatever, because they're like, well, if I say this, I'm going to offend people. If I say that, I'm not going to be liked. You know, this group is going to come after me, or this person's going to censor me. And, you know, I just think that, in my personal opinion, we should stick to facts. We should stick to truth. We should stick to what you really feel, genuinely, authentically.
What about who you really are?
Yeah, who you really are.
Presenting yourself authentically.
Right, because that's a big deal. That's a big deal in this social media space. You know,
Being yourself
Internet.
authentically.
Right.
Because these are things, believe it or not, it's very hard for a lot of people still to do. No matter what they've gone through, no matter how much the world has beat them up, a lot of people still would rather just pretend to not be themselves in order to get along.
Right.
You know, go along to get along. Some people believe it's easier to do that.
Let's keep walking.
You know what I'm saying? I believe it's probably harder to be authentic, to be honest. I know so, actually, because I live my life trying to be as authentically me as long as I can, for as long as I can remember. But to be completely honest, in my case, I don't think I had much of a choice.
Right.
Because I don't think I've ever tried to be somebody else, but whenever I tried to doubt who I was, things always go wrong for myself. So I'm almost forced to have to be me authentically at this point in my life. I mean, to be honest, I've given up on the idea of not doing that because it's the only thing that works for me, you know? And plus my spirit doesn't sit right when I'm not. I'm not comfortable. I can't sleep well. My stomach don't feel right. My mind ain't calm when I'm not being myself, or when I'm not allowed. I never say allowed to be myself because that's crazy. That's an asinine idea.
Right.
I choose who I am, and it is what it is. Whether you like it or not, this is your deal, not mine. But at least I'll be happy at night. I'll be able to sleep at night, and my heart is in a pure place.
Right.
You know, I try to present myself from a pure place, being it is what it is. Now, I don't go around broadcasting every fucking detail of my life and who I am. But if you ask me, I'll probably tell you because it just is what it is. I don't really give a fuck about your approval. Now, with that said, I don't care about nobody's approval because it doesn't benefit my life. I benefit my life. Everything that I've got around me, that I present, that I've attracted, manifested, and magnetized into my space, I did that. So it wasn't nobody else. Even if I had to go bust my ass and work for it. So why would I care about somebody else's approval? You know what I'm saying? Like, make that make sense.
Because it doesn't really affect your life in any kind of way.
It doesn't.
Right.
Not to mention, I'm fucking 40 years old, and I'd hate to see a 40-fucking-year-old out here giving a shit at this point.
There's a lot of them, though. Well, even older.
I'm sure it is, but that's why I say I hate to see it, because it's not a good look. I mean, it is what it is. We out here, like, it's your life, you know? Well, it's your existence, your future, your present, so you might as well make it about you. Why would you give a fuck about somebody else giving a shit, having something to say about it?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that's that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's you know, like I said, if you like, for instance, leave a comment and let me know what is it that you see right now as far as that's pertaining to what we're talking about, as far as this whole authenticity over approval convo, right? Leave a comment and let me know, what do you see? I know you're seeing it. You have to. You know, are you struggling with that? Are you struggling with oh, should I really say how I really feel? Because it's even beyond just the internet. I'm seeing it on just like regular conversations in the real world. You know what I mean? People just aren't really truly honest, even with their family members and friends, and not being that honest because they're worried about whether they're gonna be approved or not. You know, it's even more important to be authentic because we're living in a world of AI. You know,
a whole lot of fake shit.
Whole lot of fake shit.
Another way to say it is a whole lot of fake.
Whole lot of fake shit going on, right?
You know? So
it's like, that's why I'm saying. Matter of fact, it's like, I feel like, what's the word? Authenticity is even more rare now.
It's a rarity, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but being that it's so rare, means it's more valuable.
Exactly.
Right?
Another benefit to being authentic is, I think you connect better with people.
Exactly.
You have more of an impact when you're being more authentic, I believe.
Right.
You know, think about the times that you saw some way out shit happen. No matter how good, bad, or pretty it was it real?
Right.
And how impactful was it to you?
Right.
Did it make you cry? Did it make you laugh? Did it make you angry? It was real though.
Right.
And if we're all moving out here on some motherfucking synthetic shit, on some fake energy, fake presentations, fake feelings, fake words, fake intentions, we're never gonna connect with anybody in a real way.
100%. It's a good point. Also, something else a lot I see of is online is you see a lot of fake reactions, you know what I'm saying? Fake conversations, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People do shit. Literally, people will fake to be crying or faking to be in trouble, you know? Mm-hmm. Motherfucker, one thing that always used to bother me was when I see people online film themselves crying
or sleeping.
Or you know, how the hell you gonna film yourself sleeping? Weird. How weird does that sound?
It almost makes you wonder.
Who do you think believes that? Who do you think believes that though?
It makes you wonder though, like, cause after a while we got so used to see that we stopped asking that question.
Exactly.
And we just accepted but it's like somebody had to take that picture. Remember that?
Yeah.
You know, it makes you even now some of the shit is like that comes with the internet. Like, see so many things out there now. You don't know if that's real because you do have to ask the question: when somebody was holding that camera while this seemingly disastrous thing was going on?
Exactly.
You know, that's the question you have to ask.
Right.
Who knows? But I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of shit, we don't know the difference between the two anymore, you know? So you do have to ask the question before you fucking respond to it.
And not to mention those with kids, you have to be mindful, that's a generation of children of humans that we're raising to be basically fake as fuck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To the point where if it continues, they don't know what real is.
Right, they're not gonna know what it is.
They don't know what real is.
I don't know what that means for the future, but I mean, it doesn't mean.
I don't think anything good.
It doesn't mean anything good to me as far as I'm concerned, because at the end of the day, I think real is what we were all made from.
Right.
So how do we go from being these genuine, organic, beautiful, real motherfuckers to being satisfied with such fake shit?
Right.
How does that happen? I don't know.
Yeah,
Can we even survive on some shit like that?
Exactly. I don't understand how, when we were made out of genuinity, or what's the word? Genuinity or authenticity. We'll just say that, you know?
Yeah, organic.
We were made out of real organic shit.
Yeah.
So how are we going to continue, you know, introducing more and more fake shit to the world when...
Like all these filters on cameras and shit?
Yeah.
I mean, they've gotten so good now. I mean, you got women looking like they fucking 40 years younger, and vice versa, you know?
Right. And it's just, and the thing is, the biggest part is I don't see a lot of outrage about it. I say it's more, it's accepting. You know, people are accepting it.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
I mean, I don't know if there's any outrage, but I know there's definitely, I wonder if there's people who are actually okay with it. I don't know what the percentages of people that just completely accept it and are just like, I use filters all the time. I know there are a lot of women out there that definitely use filters a lot, you know?
Right.
But there's probably some men out there that use it too, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying, like, how do you get comfortable with your not so real you being presented like that all the time?
Right.
I mean, am I supposed to get used to you looking this way, and then when I see you in person, I'm supposed to just be okay with that?
Right.
I mean, it's a little offensive. It's kind of a mind fuck.
It's also a shock.
Yeah.
You know? What the fuck?
So, I mean, I just something that I guess it's on the person, but still, like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, at one point you have to just be, when you want the person that you're presenting yourself to, it doesn't have to be a lover or nothing, like, it could be any person in the world. When you want them to at least know who you are,
right?
I mean, you're not really presenting you at that point, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Authenticity over approval. Like, why do you even want to be approved? Let's talk about that. Like, why is that so important to be approved of?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
Like, I've been in a lot of situations. I'll say personally, I've been in situations where I've actually been kind of in a situation where, for lack of a better term, outcasted because of the fact that I just said my personal opinion as opposed to going with the group. It's even happened to me at work, you know? And we're around a bunch of adults, but it felt like very high schoolish to me. But I've been in situations at work where I disagreed with what the crowd was wanting at work. And for that reason, they wasn't fucking with me. You know what I mean? When I say they wasn't fucking with me, I mean, like, you know, just little petty shit like just not including me on a situation that I probably should have been included on in an email. Just little dumb shit like that.
That's called, I just did a training on for work at my other job for some shit like that. It's called employee bullying.
See? Exactly. And I went through that. It's sad. It's hilarious to even say. It sounds weird to even say it. It sounds weird to even say out loud, but it happened to me, you know? Wow. Because of the fact that I spoke my genuine opinion, my authentic opinion.
Yeah, and that'll do it. That'll do it, you know what I mean?
I didn't agree.
They're looking at you like you're rocking the boat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You fucking up their little, that's they little thing, and if you switching shit up on them, you know what I mean? Now they looking at you like you're the enemy. Right. And that happens all the time. See, and that's another thing, which brings me to another idea. That's what happens when you decide to fucking be genuine. Mm-hmm. You shake shit up. Right. Rock the boat. That's the other good and bad thing about that, because once you start shaking shit up, you're making people that are used to living a certain way. Mm-hmm. If they used to faking, they used to being fake and inauthentic, your realness, you just being you, will fucking make them so uncomfortable. Now, that's some shit I've definitely experienced a majority of my life. I bet. It's very confusing when it just happens out of nowhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's not your fucking problem. Remember that. If that ever happens to you and you're just being you and people got really negative shit to say about you, just being you who you are and being happy doing it, fuck them. They're just unhappy anyway. I guarantee they hate themselves. That's why they're going out their way to make you feel like shit. Mm-hmm. Don't fucking worry about it. Right. The reality is you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And people ask the question about purpose, living in purpose. You're living your purpose just by being you. It's not even necessarily that deep. Just by being you authentically, you're being genuine, you're being loving, you're loving yourself. By just doing that, you're being in purpose. You're living your purpose just by doing that. Right. And a lot of people ain't. They're not even concerned with, nor do they even know it. So they're mad at you because you're doing it. Also, in this this world that we all pursue as far as success and leadership, how is leadership important? I mean, how can you be a leader without being authentic is what I'm trying to say, right? It's an important ingredient of leadership. Mm-hmm. How are you going to be a leader without being authentic? Right? How can we trust you as a leader without being authentic? Right? And I'm sure that most people who are listening to this right now, we all consider ourselves leaders. At least that's what we're aiming for. Not all people. I mean, some people aren't really built to be leaders, in my personal opinion. Anyway, some people just are better at just taking direction and executing that shit beautifully. Some people don't just. I think to be a leader, you got to be willing to take the brunt of things. You know, you got to take the hit. Be willing to take the hit first, and that's what happens when you're an authentic person. You kind of naturally fall into a leader space because you just have something, I think, about you that you're a little bit more fearless. I think authentic people are more fearless. You know, and for whatever reason, some people, like, I feel like I've been forced to be in that position because life just kind of put me there. A lot of things I had to just go do because, for one, I didn't necessarily have nobody want to do it with me or support me in it, or just it wasn't for everybody. I got my own ideas and my own way about going about things, you know?
Right.
And I'd rather just be brave about it and it not work, and at least to say I went for it, as opposed, I just don't have it in me to just be satisfied with the fact that I didn't even try to do it, you know? And what that means is, and by doing that, this means by being you authentically, you know? But things come with that, you know? A lot of shit comes with that. I've learned in my life, you know, people, like I said, you disturb other people's, their own demons, so to speak. You know, you shake it up. You're dealing with whatever they got going on, and it may disturb their insecurities or something, you know?
I think it definitely does. It makes them reconsider some things about themselves, you know? Yeah, things that they may have been ignoring, you know?
I mean, I've seen it, man. I've seen it, like, you know, because human beings, as people anyway, we tend to project, you know? So some people do it consciously, some people do it unconsciously, some people aren't even aware that they're doing it. But, you know, at the end of the day, I really feel like it's best to always just try to put your most authentic self first, because you really can't lose. You know, it's always it's the same. It says it's always a safe betting on yourself.
That part.
You can never go wrong just being you, because at the end of the day, that's all you got anyway is you. You know, if you ever been in a position where you took a L in life, and all the people you thought was really fucking with you really wasn't fucking with you, or couldn't wait to see you lose or fall off or whatever the fuck word they want to use, that's how you know. So you're better off just doing you, because at the end of the day, that's who really got your back the most anyway. You know what I'm saying? So why would you sell yourself short and be inauthentic to appease somebody else's shit? See what I'm saying? That's like somebody asking somebody to cut their dreads off or some other corny ass shit to appease a certain stereotype that don't even fit. You know what I mean? It's not even a thing. But you want me to look a certain way because you think it'll be more appeasing. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, what this is really all about is standing on your own too, standing on what you really believe in and being firm on it, right? Yeah. Not bending, not breaking, because you want to be liked.
Yeah.
Or because you're dealing with a lot of resistance. You might deal with a lot of resistance. That happened to me one time when I was working a little corporate job, and they wanted everybody to sign that little thing about the for the, what do you call it, vaccination thing. They want everybody to agree to doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I disagreed. We'll just say that, and I dealt with a lot of bullshit with that. But anyway, yeah, he'll die.
Yeah, man. So one thing I'm not really good with is pretending when it comes to just me being who I am. That's another reason why I don't bother with it. It's too much energy to put on fake smiles when I just don't feel like smiling. I feel like that's out of order to do. Why would you? I mean, if that's okay. Like, that's like, for example, like sometimes people are good morning people, right? Some people say they use that term in the morning. Mm-hmm. They don't really put too much thought. It's just what in their mind is just what you say in the morning, you know? But I believe you should speak with intention. I got my own reasons for not really using that word, especially in the morning.
Right.
I'm already not a morning person. I appreciate mornings, but I'm not a super talkative person in the morning. I kind of like my peace in the morning. I like quiet. So with that said, a lot of people hit me with the good morning in the mornings, and not sometimes, but me, I just don't say. I just say hello, you know. But some people actually expect you to say good morning back, because that means something for them.
I hate saying that word,
but
or that phrase.
I know what that word really means, and it's not something I really want to perpetuate, especially for myself. I don't. That's not my thing.
Because words have power.
Words have power,
right.
but
and they have real meaning. Right.
So that's not really my thing. So I just refuse to just say it. I don't have to make a big deal. I don't have to go, that's not my thing. Why would you say it's not even a big deal. It's not about them, it's about me.
But even little things like that can feel like pressure. You know what I mean? You can
Yeah.
feel it can feel, even that can be a little
It can.
bit of pressure.
That's what I
of
said.
being
Some
approved.
people will get offended if you don't.
Right.
You know, but you know, it's like at the end of the day, it shit don't feel right for me.
Right.
And I don't have the energy to pretend to be somebody else for somebody else.
Right.
Fuck you. If you, I mean, like, who the hell are you for me to have to change who I am for you?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, who are you? What is so deserving? Why do you think that I even need to?
Right.
Who says that what I'm doing is not working for me?
Right.
I'm doing something right, ain't I? By just being me. Okay, then. You should try it. Fuck.
Right.
You know? But it's just one of those things, man. It's nothing to get too caught up in and really take offense to. It's nothing to really overthink. Just be the motherfucker that you are best at being, regardless. You know what I mean? Because that's my take on all this. You know what I mean? Authenticity over approval. Fuck what they say. Fuck what they feel.
Fuck being approved.
Do you say what you gotta say and do that shit from an honest place? Because at the end of the day, they may or may not be fucking with you,
For sure.
but you fucking with you, and that's all that matters.
That part.
So with that, I say this with love, man. I love y'all, you know, and I love myself, but I'm able to love myself. I'm able to love you because I love myself. So do yourself a favor and love yourself for yourself today.
I'm down.
Fuck with y'all.
Okay, cool.